April 19, 1967, Surveyor 3 landed on the moon in a crater of Oceanus Procellarum, the ocean of storms. With Surveyor's electronic eye, we viewed the lunar surface. With its mechanical arm, we dug a small, shallow trench in the lunar soil. Now, on November 14, 1969, 31 months after Surveyor's landing, men were leaving the Earth to land on the ocean of storms. Charles Pete Conrad, Richard Gordon, Alan Bean, the crew of Apollo 12, the second manned landing on the face of the moon. Their target? The site of Surveyor 3.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Commit. Liftoff.
Apollo 12 lifted off in the driving rain.
Pete Conrad reports that your program is in. Tower clear.
Pitch and a roll program, and this baby is really going.
36 seconds later, lightning struck the spacecraft.
I don't know what happened here. We had everything in the world drop out. I'm not sure if you get hit by lightning. Fuel cell lights and AC bus light. Fuel cell disconnect. AC bus overload 1 and 2. Main bus A and B out. Okay, we're all organized again, John.
We've had a couple of cardiac arrests down here too, Pete.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing, it's a first-class ride, Houston.
You gotta go orbit, you're looking good.
In space and on Earth, they checked out the systems to be sure that the lightning had caused no damage that would endanger the mission. The time for commitment neared. The burn to send Apollo 12 to the moon. Translunar injection, TLI.
Apollo 12, Houston, the good word is your go for TLI.
Hoopy-doo, we're ready. We didn't expect anything else.
We didn't train for anything else, Pete.
You better believe it.
We have data and thrust is go. Burn looks good.
With engine cut off, Apollo 12 was on its way to the moon. Now they turned around to dock with the lunar module and pull it free of the now useless booster.
We got a hard dock, Houston. She looks good.
The next burn would place Apollo 12 on a new path to the moon. Previous missions had followed a trajectory that would allow them to loop around the moon and with no further burns return to Earth. But Apollo 12, in order to land at the proper site with the proper lighting, would break out of the free return path. Should a failure occur, a burn of the service or lunar module engine would be needed to get them home.
7, 6, 5, flashing 99, throw, 2, 1, ignition, thrust, that ball valve. Okay, other ball valves, 3, 4, 5, 6, very good.
Now they settle down to the routine of the outward flight.
We're trying all these things that we didn't have in Gemini, like toothpaste and shaving, and we're really having a ball up here.
Roger. All dressed up and no place to go.
Oh, we're going someplace. We can see it getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Then, on November 17th, they prepared for orbit around the moon.
Our motion to the left is not as apparent as our motion towards the moon, and therefore we have the decided impression that we're going right into the center of that baby right now. Okay, Houston, we're maneuvering to the burn attitude.
Roger, we copied that 12.
Houston to go into darkness at this time.
Roger, 12.
Matter of fact, we're there.
Hello, 12. Houston, you're go for LOI.
Roger, Houston, go for LOI. Burn checklist is complete to -6 minutes, and we're holding a dead point.
LOI, Lunar Orbit Insertion, the burn of the spacecraft rocket engine that would place Apollo 12 into orbit around the moon. With this burn occurring behind the moon, there would be no communications with the spacecraft until it came over the lunar horizon. The command module, Yankee Clipper, the lunar module, Intrepid.
Apollo 12, Houston.
Hello, Houston. Yankee Clipper with Intrepid in tow has arrived on time. I guess like everybody else that just arrived, all three of us are plastered to the windows looking.
The next day, Pete Conrad and Alan Bean entered the lunar module, leaving Dick Gordon in the command module. Now the Intrepid and Yankee Clipper undocked and separated, preparatory to Intrepid's descent and landing on the moon.
Okay, here you go again. Maybe. Back off, Dick. There he goes. Hey, Houston, the sim's running pretty smooth today.
Affirmative, Pete.
As with the orbit insertion burn, the burn to begin descent was made behind the moon. Mission Control again contacted Intrepid as it came over the horizon.
Intrepid, Houston, how do you read?
Hello, Houston, Intrepid. Roger, we read you loud and clear. We had a great DOI burn. And we just watched the first Earthrise, which was fantastic.
The Surveyor 3 target was located in the middle of 5 craters arranged like a snowman. The upper crater, called Head Crater, the body, called Surveyor Crater. Surveyor 3 is located in this crater. The object, to land as close as possible to Surveyor Crater. Then at 50,000 feet, Intrepid's engine fired and began the landing sequence.
Okay, we're out at 19,000 feet. I got some kind of a horizon out there. I got some craters too, but I don't know where I am yet. Okay. In a buy for P64. Okay. I'm trying to cheat and look out there. I think I see my crater. Hey, baby. I'm not sure. Coming through 7. Look at P64, Pete. P64. Hey, there it is. There it is. Son of a gun, right down the middle of the road. Outstanding. 42 degrees, Pete. Hey, it's targeted right from the center of the crater. Look out there. I can't believe it. Amazing. Fantastic. 42 degrees, babe. Just keep talking. Slide it in. Coming down at about 99 feet a second. You're looking good.
Traffic, Houston, go for landing.
Over 1. Roger, okay, Roger. 40 degrees, LPD, Pete. 40 degrees. That's so fantastic, I can't believe it. You're at 2,000 feet. Boys on the ground do okay. 1,800 feet up, 39 degrees. 38 degrees, 36 degrees. You're 1,200 feet, Pete. Okay, 1,000 feet coming down at 30. Looks good out there, babe. Looks good. 32 degrees. You're at 800 feet. 33 degrees. 600 feet. Nice. Hey, look at that crater right where it's supposed to be. Hey, you're beautiful. 240 coming down at 5. Hey, you're really maneuvering around. Yeah. Come on down, Pete. Okay. 10% fuel. 200 feet. Coming down at 3. Need to come on down. Okay. 180 feet. 9%. You're looking good. Gonna get some dust before long. 96 feet coming down at 6. Slow down the descent rate. 80 feet coming down at 4. You're looking good. 50 feet coming down. Watch for the dust. 40 coming down at 2. Looking good. Watch the dust. Coming down at 2 feet. You got plenty of gas. Plenty of gas, dude. Hang in there.
30 seconds.
18 feet coming down at 2. He's got it made. Come on in there. 24 feet. Contact light.
Roger, copy contact.
Pro. Yeah, pro. Okay. Storm off. Okay. I'll cycle these valves. You got your Send engine command over right off. Yep. The good thing we leveled off high. Yeah. And came down because I sure couldn't see what was underneath us once I got into that dust. It's a nice place to land. Look at those boulders out there on the horizon, Pete. Shoot with me.
As Conrad and Bean began preparations for their first trip of exploration, men on Earth began their attempts to fix their exact landing site. They were aided by Dick Gordon, orbiting in Yankee Clipper.
I have him tripping. I have him tripping. Well done, Clipper. Negative. He's on the surveyor crater. He's about a quarter of the surveyor crater diameter to the northwest. Huh? Roger.
Dick Gordon using the 28 power sextant for these sightings.
I see surveyor. Roger, Clipper. Good eyeball. Well done.
A major goal of Apollo 12 had been accomplished. For before men can engage in meaningful lunar exploration, they must be able to select a precise site and get there. But now it was time to exit the Intrepid and begin the exploration and experiments. Conrad climbed out first.
Hey, I'll tell you what we're parked next to. What? We're about 25 feet in front of the surveyor crater. That's good. That's where we want it to be. I bet you when I get down to the bottom of the ladder, I can see the surveyor. Okay. Down to the pad. Okay. Okay. Man, that may have been a small one for Neil, but that's a long one for me. Oh, you'll never believe it. That's what I see sitting on the side of the crater. The old surveyor, huh? The old surveyor, yes, sir. Does that look neat? It can't be any further than 600 feet from here. How about that?
Now, Pete Conrad collected a preliminary geological sample.
I have the decided impression I don't want to move too rapidly. But I can walk quite well. Seems a little weird, I'll tell you. Don't think you're going to steam around here quite as fast as you thought you were. Hey, Al, you can work out here all day. Just take your time. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Dum-dum-dum-dum.
Now, Al Bean left Intrepid to join Conrad on the surface of the moon.
Good shape. Okay, I'll pull the hatch closed here. Okay. Don't lock it. And if I'd have landed 20 feet behind where I landed, we'd have landed right smack in that crater.
Inadvertently, the television camera was pointed directly at the sun, causing the tube to burn out, the only unsuccessful aspect of the entire mission.
Houston.
Pete, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, we have the flag up. Like I say, I hope everybody down there is proud of it. Yes, we are to put it up.
That's affirmative, Pete, and we're proud of what you're doing.
They prepared an experiments package to be left on the moon, an automated scientific station called ALSEP that would send information to Earth for a year, powered by a nuclear electric generator.
Okay. And we'll offload the ALSEP, I guess. No. We ought to be able to move out with this thing.
They moved to the site selected to set up the station.
Hey, there's another one of those mounds over there. Where? Hey, you're right. What do you suppose they are? I don't know. It looks like a small volcano.
They put together the experiment station.
you estimate we're from the LEM? 600 feet, 700 feet?
ALSEP, an acronym for Apollo Lunar Surface Experiments Package. Piece by piece, they assemble the station.
Okay. I've got the solar wind deployed here.
The solar wind experiment, to measure atomic particles thrown off by the sun as they strike the moon. A device to measure the moon's tenuous atmosphere. A magnetometer to measure the lunar magnetic field, which would later be found to be 10 to 20 times stronger than many scientists had expected. A seismometer to measure physical properties of the crust and interior. And the data station to collect the experimental measurements and transmit them to Earth. With ALSEP deployed, Conrad and Bean began collecting geological samples.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a rock. Look at that. Son of a gun. I gotta have that.
They drove a core tube into the surface to collect soil from various depths.
Okay, I'm core tubing it right now. Kill. Auger it a bit and then pound it. But now it's full length.
We show you're 3 hours and 7 minutes into it, into the EVA. And we'd like you back to the LEM to start the closeout in 10 minutes. That's at 3 + 17.
At the smoke to get back to that LEM, we're a long way. Yeah, Houston, we're approaching the ALSEP, headed back to the LEM.
Pete and Al, we're picking up your heavy footprints going by the seismometer.
Okay, and then we ought to dust each other off. Man, we are filthy. Okay, coming up the ladder. Gosh, you're shaking the whole mill. Sorry about that. Yankee Clipper, Houston. Hello, yeah. Clipper here. Clipper, you were sort of the forgotten man for a little while. We're all eyes are on you now. We're with you.
As Dick Gordon circled the moon, Pete Conrad and Al Bean rested for their next expedition. Their total time on the lunar surface had been just under 4 hours. 12.5 hours later, they went out again.
Whoops, wrong step. Okay, Houston.
Roger. Copy, Pete.
Before they began their geological expedition to the surrounding craters and to Surveyor, they worked around the lunar module, getting ready the tools and containers they would need.
We're putting the parts bag on Pete right now, Houston.
Roger, we copy that.
I wonder what happened since yesterday. I don't know. I think everybody learns a little. Okay.
As Bean readied the equipment, Conrad went out to the ALSEP station to check an instrument about which the Earth-based scientists had shown some concern.
I'll lope off to the ALSEP and check the side. I'll meet you at point 1 at head crater. Houston, Pete's on his way to the ALSEP.
After Conrad checked the ALSEP experiments, they began the geological traverse, during which they would cover about a mile and take samples from 6 craters.
You get a big surprise when you look into this head crater, Al. It's a heck of a lot deeper than it looked, eh? There you go. That's a good rock. Hey, look at the pips in it, too. That's just going to be a good rock, Houston. Okay, Houston, I'm coming up on Bench Crater right now. Boy, there's some big fragments out here. Pictures. What a fantastic sight. Al, look at the bottom of that crater. Here's some good rock samples right here. Come on. Why don't we stop here and look at the chart a little bit more closely? Man, does that LEM look small back there?
Pete, now we show you're 1,200 feet from the LEM.
Okay. You know what I feel like, Al? What? You ever see those pictures of giraffes running in slow motion? That's exactly what I feel like. Got the decided feeling I'm going to sleep tonight.
Then they arrived at Surveyor, their target. While the Surveyor activities were a bonus, they were symbolic of the success of Apollo 12.
Yeah, we're just going to move to the area. Now look, you can see which way it came in. See the way the spear pits dug in over there? Dug up dirt, and you're still sitting there. Okay, Houston, I'm jiggling it. The Surveyor is firmly planted here. That's no problem. Okay, Al, we're ready to start getting a TV camera. Okay. All right, you see that material disintegrate. Hey, that cuts easy. Okay, 2 more tubes on that TV camera, and that baby's ours. Done. There you go. In the bag. Yeah, I gotta zip it up. Good show. How about let me cut this scoop off? Sure. Didn't think you were gonna leave without a scoop, did you? Okay, let's head for Blackie Crater.
So they left Surveyor, and after a stop at the crater called Block, they were back at the lunar module, collecting the solar wind experiment, stowing the rock boxes.
It's really ridiculous. I got dust all over the rock box, and I'm trying to blow it off.
Bean re-entered the lunar module first. Conrad, using a transfer apparatus similar to a clothesline reel, sent the samples up to him. Then, Conrad, too, left the lunar surface.
Okay. Houston, guess you can mark me off the lunar surface?
Roger, we got that, Pete, at 3 hours and 50 minutes into the EVA.
Yeah, yep, the ladder I go. I hope.
But there was no time to rest. The lunar module had to be prepared for liftoff from the moon and rendezvous with Yankee Clipper.
Looking good, Pete.
3, 2, 1, lift off. And away we go. Boy, did it fire. Going. We're on our way. And at 1 minute, yaw right 20 feet. Okay. Good jump. Everything looks good. Sure does.
So they rose to their rendezvous, and from Dick Gordon and Yankee Clipper,
Well, you sure look strange down there amongst all the sand dunes. All right. At half a mile, 19 feet a second. We're looking better all the time, Yankee. Okay, I'm down to 3 feet a second.
Intrepid now station keeping with the Yankee Clipper.
the two vehicles moved together for docking.
Capture. Okay. Steady as a rock. And you're all free, boy.
Now, Conrad and Bean rejoined Dick Gordon in the command module, bringing with them the samples, experiments, and photographs to be returned to Earth. The next step, jettison the lunar module, then send it crashing into the moon to help calibrate the seismometer left on the surface. This instrument was designed to measure the intensity of meteor impacts, moonquakes, landslides, and similar phenomena.
Guidance and Control Officer reports that the two spacecraft have separated.
Apollo 12, Houston, the LEM is on its way down.
Roger, likewise.
The men on Earth monitored the output of the seismometer, waiting for impact.
Countdown for LEM impact. 3, 2, 1, mark. LEM impact.
As for the meaning of it, I'd rather not make an interpretation right now, but it is as though one had struck a bell, say, in the belfry of the church, a single blow, and found that the reverberations from it continued for 30 minutes.
After 55 minutes, the reverberations still had not faded completely. Apollo 12 continued its orbits of the moon, gathering photography for scientific study, including the Fra Mauro area, the landing site for Apollo 13. And then it was time to head back to Earth.
Roger, roger. Bye-bye. See you on the other side.
Have fun.
The burn to send them home would take place behind the moon. On Earth, we waited for Apollo 12 once more.
Apollo 12, Houston.
Hello, Houston. Apollo 12 en route home.
Shortly before re-entry, the crew of Apollo 12 watched the Earth move to blot out the sun.
We're getting a spectacular view of heat cliffs. We're using the sun filter from the GNN optics looking through it, and it's unbelievable.
Then Apollo 12 hit the atmosphere of Earth at 25,000 miles an hour.
Okay, it's right on the money.
Raj, we concur, Pete.
But the log of Apollo 12 does not end with splashdown. It only begins.
And if I got the grapefruit rock of all grapefruit rocks. I'm looking at a rock that has all crystals in it.
And on the moon, an experimental station called ALSAP sends back its data. Each experiment representing a milestone in our knowledge of the moon.
The lunar ionosphere, alias side, has been turned on, and I'm very happy to say is functioning perfectly.
The solar wind spectrometer has been functioning, of course, since the ALSA has been turned on.
The seismic experiment, as has been reported, is functioning in all respects properly.
I think it will represent a major discovery of completely unanticipated about the moon.
We're going to have to throw the book away and begin over again, which seems to be the case for the moon in general.
Apollo 12 was a milestone in manned extraterrestrial exploration. It achieved its pinpoint landing, as close as possible to its selected target, marked by Surveyor. It set a pace and a pattern of scientific exploration that future missions will not only follow, but will go beyond.